Here we go again. I'm here today after a long time to show a funny project I did. Everything started after I saw some challenge in some GitHub repository where this challenge the challenge was create a mini version of N8N. What is N8N? Is a tool to automate routines. Okay, not send email for a specific person in a specific time, or if I trick the URL, notify, take the data and notify different APIs. So I'm here to I'm here now to share the result. Here, for example, is a simple application, but if I refresh, by default I set these steps here. The webhook step is the first step. If you put the webhook in a different part of the workflow, the webhook uh, do nothing. So it's really important to mention that. And the API you can use to collect data and send data for some API. Here, for example, imagine I have this URL here is a web application, and I need to notify this web application, send a post request. What I can do is okay, I need to set the API key. No problem. Let's generate the API key. Let's type something random here. And the message is send. You can set many informations like imagine a to-do API. So I have title, to-do task. I can add more values, description, to-do task description. This name here means the value here is only a text. If I if I set expression expressão means expression in English. Uh, uh, for for the if I set this value means for the workflow. The value here is a JavaScript code where I'm interested to, and I want to execute this code first, and after that give me the result to set in this key here. I can give an example. Let's add an extra field named timestamp, and here I say take now, give me the timestamp or something like that. And here I select expression and save. I I will only set these two blocks, okay? And here I will save. Uh, I need to set a name. Example automation flow. And now I will I can save because don't exist workflow use the same name. So if I go here, refresh the list of workflows, I have my workflow here, and don't work in the first time I save because, like I said, has a workflow use some name. So if I try create a new, use the same name, I can do. So I need, like I did, I change the workflow name. So I click here to trigger, and we'll notice. Let's go here. You will notice. I have the title like I set it. I have the description like I put it, and I have the timestamp where if you remember the timestamp, the value field I set date dot now. So this is the value. For example, I have context variable. Imagine I have a workflow and I want to share specific values between each step. So I can create a variable like a email or a random value. And I just type any a random stuff. And here I can create a description. Random value. And if I click save and go back here, um, pro- I did something wrong because I want to change this workflow. So I need to click here to click in this button, edit, and now I can do what I'm start to do in the last page. Um, let me I forgot. I need to do here because the context I can create the constant context variables when I creating a workflow. I didn't implement the context variable in a edition part in the edition. So here, for example, we can say random value, and the key random value, and um, set expression. The point is to access the context, I need to say this state dot context and the key name. So save. Uh, I change the name to allow me to create a new. And if I refresh here, I have the flow tool, and I click here, receive a notification, and here you can notice a handle value. So this context variables is really helpful if you need to share inform data between the steps of the workflow steps. Okay. Um, So now I have some workflows ready here. So I click here to edit, only to explain. I have the start point here. I have this guy where I will get the data from some API. Like I said, you can use the API step to do send data and get data. He is a fake API where return for me to dos, fake to dos, and what I did here is get this data and send a request for this endpoint. This URL is is the same URL you can notice here. And here I did an expression and I said the key data will receive the value from the state step. Let me see, put here to explain. This state means I want to access something in a workflow state. The state is created when the workflow starts to execute. And it block here from the workflow is named step. So if you notice, the step name is trigger API 3. The step 2 is trigger API 2. You can change, okay? Um, so to access each step has an input and an output. The input is data from the request when I trigger the workflow, and the output is data from the returned from the step. For example, step two, the output is this object. Inside the object, you have the key to dos. So I'm in tiers two send a request for some API use this data. So first, what I did, I get the data. So now I have to access this data. I need to do this dot state dot steps, the step name, output. The output, remember, is the this object returned for the step in my backend workflow. The backend is responsible to build this state workflow state. Um, and I can access. So output in is an object, the output. So I set that to do. So I will get the to do list here. So this is the value I have. This is the value I have. Let me click click here to close and click to open. Now it's here because I removed when I copied. So now it's right. Let me save. And if I click here to back and go to this guy here, click to notify. So you will notice I have the list of to-dos. The value here is the same of the list of to-dos. If I'm to choose, I don't know, set extra stuff here, extra key, I can click here. If I don't want to send an extra key, I can click here to remove. The same idea for headers. Imagine you need to pass an API key to send a request for this URL. You can do this, or if you have extra headers, you can do the same. You can click in this button to add a new header, or you can click in this icon, the trash icon, where you can remove. Let me put here, save again. Just really save the the workflow. So if I go here in the API key header in the header part, we will notice the API key and the value is test. Okay, and the final result here. Uh, Now you probably ask me what the condition and the code block do. The condition allow you to create conditions in the workflow. So let me go here. I believe this workflow can be a great example. Let's close this too. Let's close some page unnecessary tabs, not page tabs from my browser. Here, let me explain. I have the same API to get the to-dos, fake to-dos. Here I set the limit 11. And the condition here, I can say, for example, I can create an expression like I explained it. But here I don't need to specify. If I start to use this dot state, my code identifier is an expression. So here I'm checking how many to-dos returned in the step 2. If the condition is equal, more than, less than, different, I can select here. I put in Portuguese because I forgot to write in English, sorry. But you can translate if you want to check the code. And the condition. Condition here. So the value here needs to be equal the value here. So if you notice, the limit is equal 11. So the total here, so the condition is false here. So if the condition is false, let me zoom in. Only the false path will execute. In this case, I have a code block. The code block here, you can add a code. Has a default here. We'll notice you have the import instruction. If you don't have any idea about this part here, this code is a JavaScript code, but the application responsible to execute this code is a Dino runtime. So the Dino, if you can install the dependence and the package, not dependence, the package in runtime. So the moment I run this code, and the Dino look this part, Dino understand I need to install from node mailer from npm, and the DIN will install this, and after that, I have this application will execute this function. So it's really important you you declare the function that way, export a sync function node, because the application response to execute the code block expect the function named node, and expect you declare the function that way, and you have the parent named data, where you can pass information for the code here. You'll notice I have credentials here, but it's not a problem. After finish the video, I will delete the, the credentials. If you don't know, Mail Trap is a fake inbox. It's really helpful to test uh, if you need to send email, instead test use a real emails or real email address or real inbox. You can use mail trap to create a fake email inbox. And here you can have parents. These parents here, in the moment the code block execute, I pass this value here to this parent here. So you can add other stuff like I don't know, let me say smile face, and updated, save here, and execute, go back to the list, and execute trigger here. Take some time. Let me check. Okay, I receive a notification. If I let me back here to explain something I forgot. I said if the condition failed, go execute only the steps in this part. If the condition is true, execute this part. So in this case, I execute the code, and after that, I send a request where the I have the JSON, and the key message has the email not not fired, I believe. So if I go here, I have the message, I have the request, and the message is the same I showed here. And first, first I the f- after the condition fail, first I need to execute this step and that step after. So if I look here, I have an email, and now you can notice is the right email because has a smile face here. Okay, so that way you can create a workflow. So I hope everyone like it. Is only a MVP is not MVP because MVP is a term for a product in production, is the first version of the product in production. In this case, is a side project, uh, is a proof of concept where I challenge myself to improve and do the N8N mini version. So it was a good challenge, and the best part, in my opinion, was the most challenging part was create the condition block in the code block, because the code block, how I can use external libraries with any extra work or extra configuration. And I remember, man, I can use Dino. Dino can do this for me. So I applied Dino for this specific test. Um, Only to show here, I have the API mini N8N is a backend. All the data is saved in MongoDB. Why MongoDB? Because the if you notice, I can have one workflow with three steps. Another workflow can have a lot of steps. I don't have a fixed structure. It each step is different, has different configuration, and MongoDB is schemaless. I don't have a fixed structure. So in my opinion, it's perfect for this kind of situation. And here, the backend is Node.js and API is Express. Here is the code executor. All the code is here. The guy responsible to execute this part here. And the code is Dino. The runtime is Dino and the API is Express. But if you notice, I use the same content, the same concept I explained it. In runtime, I install the Express, and here I'm saying I'm just to use the buffer from the buffer is a native package from the Node.js, so I need to specify this in Dino. So you can access this repository. Let me finish before I say about how to access the code. Here you have a front end where is a next application. Is a simple application. My main focus is create the workflow engine and to make everything work and create a front end, connect the steps. This is my main focus here. And that's it. And here we have a Docker Compose and the README explain how to run all the stuff. Okay. Here is some test I did. I can delete. So that's it. I hope everyone understood how I explained it. If you have some questions or you want or you want my help to do something, or you can fork this and create your own solution. Um, Let me know. I can help you. Sorry for my English, but explain about this workflow is a better way to improve my English. So thank you for your time, and see you soon.